Welcome, everyone, to episode 100 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take a random game, or in this case, a user-requested game from Xbox Game Pass, and decide, we still don't like roguelikes, do we?
You know, maybe if there are vampires in it.
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? So this episode, we're going to be talking about Vampire Survivors. And this was requested by Eric from the Unlockables podcast. And we're going to get into it. This game was developed by, I apologize to the developers here. I believe the name is Ponkel. Maybe?
Bob's your punkle?
Bob's your punkle. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. And this game came out in October of 2022. I think it was an early access for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I've heard about this game for a while.
Ditto.
Yeah. So, and I played this on the PC. Tom, this game on the PC was 337.03 megabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Well, Chris, it's 1.3 gigabytes on the Xbox. And that makes you wonder, because it's not double, it's not triple, it's more than 4 times larger on the Xbox One. Why? Why is there a full extra gig here?
Why? What is the point? Did you get updated graphics? No. Do you get updated sound? No. What do you get with that extra gigabyte of data that you're downloading to your computer or your Xbox?
Maybe Vampire Survivors 2, 3, and 4 are all secretly loaded into the Xbox One.
Oh, there you go. So there's an advantage to playing this game on the Xbox, or a disadvantage. I don't know, however you want to call it here, but that is that, and that's what we're sticking with here, unless Ponko wants to explain that to us. But Tom, what kind of game is this?
I put top-down bullet hell, but I snuck a little look at yours, and I think yours is more interesting.
I put bullet hell roguelike walking thing.
Yeah, I think all of those things are true.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh yeah. So that's what we thought this game was. But let's talk about that game loop.
It looks like we're pretty similar here. I put walk around to kill things, to collect gems, to level up, to walk around and kill harder things.
Yeah. I put survive the horde while collecting and leveling up your character.
Yours is more succinct. Mine is a dig at the loop.
I mean, it's quite the loop, apparently, because I gotta tell you, Tom, this game, I've heard so many people talk about this game. So many people that have like telling me this game is great. You got to try it. It's so good. Blah, blah, blah. And I refused to play because I was like, this looks like a roguelike. And I am not interested. I am not interested in this game at all. But you know what? Eric made it his official request. So I was like, you know what? I got to do it. He did it. He put it on Twitter, which I know is a infrastructure that's about to go in shambles. But while it's still there, I was like, okay, I will honor this. I will honor this for you, Eric. So, and in that, just like in every episode, let's talk about what we liked about this game, Tom. Why don't you start?
Okay. I was going to say, surely you liked some things, but I'll try not to take all of your choices.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to start by saying this is a game that has a lot of RNG in it, right? There's a lot of just random stuff going on, but sometimes that leads to some pretty cool stuff. So like getting a great loot drop in this feels really good because you get like, sometimes you open up a chest and it's okay. And then sometimes you open it up and it's like, oh, everything was in there.
Yeah.
And that, that's fun, right? It's like pulling a crank on a slot machine and then winning. So that felt pretty
Very
good.
much. What else you got over there?
I think the game is very simple. It's easy to pick up and play. I feel like even my parents could play this and not have a very hard time of it. And that's not something that I could always say. So,
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, we keep going. Why don't you just keep going? With
you want to just keep going? Okay.
Keep going with
I liked the eureka moments because the game has a very kind of old school vibe where it doesn't really tell you a lot. It just kind of throws you in there, and now you're playing the game, and then you'll figure something out because you kind of have to, because this is a very iterative game, and those felt good to me in the same way that maybe figuring out how to do a slide in Mega Man or something feels good.
Sure.
It's like, oh, that's how you do that. Now I'm going to use this and spam the heck out of it and, hopefully do better. So those moments when you're playing and you figure something out on your own feel pretty good, I thought.
Yeah. I will say the music was pretty good.
Okay.
It was very chiptune-y, but I think the composer was Chip Zell that did the soundtrack, from what I understand. And to kind of piggyback off of your moment of the loot, like that music was it perfectly fit that moment of getting all that gold and doing that thing. So that was cool. And I don't know if you saw this in the options, but there's a Twitch integration option.
Oh, no.
So yeah, you just enter your username, and it once you start a game, what it does is allows your people that are on the chat to basically control what you pick when you level up.
Oh.
And in between there, they can either hurt or help you in your run. So they can either add a swarm of skulls or whatever it is, or they can give you power-ups and stuff like that. So that was a cool little thing that I will tip my hat to the developers for adding to the game. And yeah, like I said, the treasure moments were great. I was definitely feeling the music while the coins were showering, and when you level up, you see the shower of diamonds and jewels and stuff like that go across your screen, or go cascade down your screen and stuff like that. So the other thing I liked was the title screen art. It gave me that very much like that Castlevania cover art at the time. So that was cool. I liked that too. And this game had a lot of language options too. That was great. They really tried to get the localization done for the menu system. So.
You're really scraping the barrel here, aren't you, Chris?
I'm really trying.
You went digging. You went digging for things you liked. Well, before we move on to the things we didn't like, because I'm sure they're coming, Chris. I'm sure you've got a list. I do want to say that there are lots of weapons, equipment, powers to unlock. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that the gold that you get does carry over and allows you to purchase, permanent boost to your character, which you'll get to keep for every run. So you do feel like, even though these things it's really, play till you die. Yeah. When you die, you do keep something that you're using to make your character or characters better or stronger, which make the next thing smoother. So I did appreciate that. I felt like I was getting somewhere, which it's not always the case with the rogue games.
I will say it does do a good job of feeling like there's some sort of accomplishment. right? You hit the level, again, like I mentioned, like you get the little jewel shower and stuff like that. So you're constantly encouraged to keep going in this game, which is fine. But yeah, good. Good on them. Good on them, Ponkel. Good for doing that.
So do you want to start here with the things you didn't like, Chris? Because I think we're probably pretty similar in a lot of these.
Well, first off, this game is a roguelike.
Yep.
So that was already.
Yep.
It took it down a peg or two for me right there. And then Tom, I still don't understand why people were hyping this game all that much, because you're literally walking around. You don't do anything else in this game, anything else whatsoever. And I was like, what? Because I did watch a friend of mine play this game. And I thought, okay, cool. Like at least he's like maybe mashing a button to do all the options, like do everything. Then I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like you're doing all this stuff. You're doing pretty well. He's like, so like what buttons are you using? You must be like going crazy. Like, oh no, I'm walking around. I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? All you're doing is just walking around and letting Tom, this is another version of Progress Quest.
I was thinking about it while I was playing it. I was like, so the only buttons are the directional keys. I was like, they've added like a couple of buttons to Progress Quest is kind of what I thought. I was like, you could control where the character is standing at any given moment. I guess that's something.
So frustrating. And I had the problem, which I thought was strange, is I couldn't use a controller.
Oh,
I thought I'd have the option to use a controller, but no, that I couldn't do it at all. So that was kind of annoying. And the menu or the options system was just super limited. And so it was just a lot more frustration with this game already. So yeah, I just had to use WSAD, and they don't even tell you what your controls are in the menu system. I don't know if you noticed that, but I mean, I guess the assumption.
Why would you need to tell anybody what the buttons are? There are only 4 of them: up, down, left, and right.
True. Yeah, but exactly. You could be using up, down, left, and right,
Fair enough.
You could be using WSAD, but they don't even tell you that. So, I mean, I get it. There's not that many buttons on a keyboard. You'll eventually figure it out. The thing that also screwed with me is that the fact that I thought, as I saw, like I said, I mentioned I saw other people play this game. I thought that when you level up, you get to select it. But I think because I turned on the Twitch integration, that option was taken away from me.
Yeah.
So I felt frustration. I was like, because the thing is, while you're playing the game with the Twitch integration on, it has a little box that tells you that this is controlled by your Twitch chat for the help or harm options, right? But not for the level part. So again, it's like, come on, at least tell me that you're going to. This is also controlled by the Twitch chat,
right? So
there was some people on the chat that kind of messed around with it too. So I mean, that was the one fun part, I will say, that just because people could totally mess with you, and that was fun. It was funny, but let's talk about this art. Yeah, it's cute for some games. This game, I don't know. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it.
I wrote pixel art looks kind of shitty, and and in parentheses I put rare. Like it's rare for me to say something like that. Like normally I think pixel art looks good. For some reason, it did not here. I don't know what it is about it that I don't like, but the text is hard to read. The animations, were there animations? I'm not even sure.
I mean, your attack animations, that's basically it. So, I mean, that I wrote that, did someone just raid the 8-bit Castlevania art assets? Because that's what it looked like. And maybe the iteration 1 of the Castlevania art assets, because they weren't even that great. So it was like, oh my god, this is just I will go back to what you mentioned about this having the slot machine feel. I think that's why people like this game.
Yeah.
It's that it gives them that kind of uh casino feel.
Hmm.
The constant encouragement, the showering of things like that. It's so like you get that dopamine hit of,
Yeah.
but it just didn't do it for me though. I was just like frustrated because I literally all I'm doing is moving this guy around.
Yeah. And I was right there with you. I was frustrated a lot, like, especially if, I knew that dopamine hit was coming because I saw that chest, the enemy,
Right.
the boss dropped, and I'm like, oh, I just got to get over there. But there is in the middle of a swarm of enemies.
Right.
And since I can't control the character's attacks,
Yep.
I have to like run away from the chest to get the swarm to follow me so that I can backtrack and try to get back over there.
Right.
It just leads to a lot of frustrating deaths. Not being able to control when your character attacks and who they attack,
Yeah.
means that you're never attacking who you want to attack.
Yeah. The one, I mean, and the power ups for sure, were did get better because like the garlic aura was definitely helpful when you're dealing with like the low level characters or like the enemies types. So, and then I guess in that way you can kind of plow through certain enemy types to get to your certain destination. But yeah, I'm with you where I got like, I would be dealing with the horde or a swarm of enemies, and then I totally forget, like, oh my god, I have to go this direction to go get whatever it was that I was planning on getting, like, whether it was like some health power up or a treasure chest or whatever. It's just I don't know, man. This was like, I honestly feel this is probably the most frustrating roguelike I've ever played.
Well, you are basically powerless the whole time, so
It was like,
you're literally at the mercy of an hour of a game that was playing itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think at one point I just stopped moving my character because I was like, all right, well, I mean, that's all I'm doing anyway. I'm not attacking. I'm just moving around. So it doesn't matter what I do. So yeah. I don't know. I don't get it, but is there anything else you want to bring up before we get to our other thoughts on this game?
I think I've given up all of my likes and dislikes here. I do have some other thoughts though.
Well, go ahead. Why don't you go with that then?
So I do appreciate that the game loop only takes a few minutes to iterate.
Right.
So as a consequence, this is a kind of game that's easy to play in short bursts.
Right.
That, you're only on the hook for as long as you survive. And since, as far as I could tell, like, I mean, I don't know if the level ever ends because I just would die,
Yeah.
Does the level ever end? I'm not sure.
I mean, it has to, right? Because there's other, when you go to start the game, it gives you different characters. So my assumption is either the levels change or the other characters have different perks and stuff like that change things
I
up
mean,
a little bit.
I unlocked other characters.
Oh,
but then,
God, I didn't even get that.
Oh, yeah.
Get that far.
No, like, I kicked enough butt, got enough gold to unlock the other characters, went in it again. They have different power sets, or at least have different starting power sets. And then, you end up equipping a lot of the same items as you go. But it just didn't, like, I didn't know if I was getting anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting back to the home screen and I have that gold and I can unlock stuff. So I'm like, my characters are getting stronger, but are they getting stronger towards the goal? I'm not sure.
Right. I, in a way, as we're talking about this, it kind of reminds me of Dicey Dungeons, but I felt like Dicey Dungeons was more fun than this because there was some strategy and stuff like that was involved. But again, people have been talking to me about this, about like, oh, this game is really deep. I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. And I mean, again, I got to level 15 on my character, and I was like, all right, I accomplished something with that character in that run, right? So, but other than that, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. But this game is apparently Xbox Play Anywhere. So if you are one of these folks that loves these kind of games, you can play it anywhere. And this is, you know what? This is probably a toilet certified game because you can play it on the toilet and have no problem.
Yeah. If the bursts are coming out of somewhere else, this is a short burst that you can play.
This is a short burst game too. Why not? And how long to beat says this game takes about 7 hours to beat.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's completion and stuff as well, but you know that's like the main line, you know, golden path, so to speak. So, yeah. So Tom, I guess we got to talk about: are we keeping this game, or are we letting it die with that horde?
Well.
But before we get to that, we wanted to let you know about our spectacular sponsor, Winner Winner. Winner Winner is a live arcade claw machine game available on Android and iOS, and it's 100% skill-based. Trust me, if you see me play my games, you know I'm not that great, and I still have won games on my first try. There's hundreds of prizes, even featuring gaming merch from Nintendo. Pick your prize from choices in your particular game, or bank your earnings with tickets to redeem any other prize you want from their wide selection. And for all you lovely people listening or watching our show, you can get bonus tokens on your first app token purchase. Download and create your account, then use the link in the episode's description to enter promo code WHATITDO after you sign in. Check it out. It's clawsome.
I'll go first, and I'll say it was fun to play for the hour, despite the frustration that I was experiencing. It's also small, or at least I considered it small, at 1.3 gigabytes of the Xbox One. So I'm willing to leave it installed for now and see if I go back to it. But there's an asterisk there, which is that I have other games that I want to play out, and those are going to monopolize my time. So I doubt very much that this is going to get any more playtime, but I have not yet uninstalled it. Because it is kind of fun to play for 15, 20 minutes or whatever.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I get it. I get why people like it.
Yeah. Well, I am so glad this game is so small because it's that much easier to uninstall. But you know what? The one part of it, like I mentioned, was the Twitch integration. So if people want to keep me playing this game on stream or whatnot, until I have a successful run, I'll do it. But that's the only way I would play this game ever again.
So we're at the mercy of our listeners here.
Yes, we're at the mercy of our listeners. So yeah. Those are our thoughts, Tom. So let us know what you guys think of this game, which a lot of you do like this game. So follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D, or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com, and check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, send us a comment down below. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of people that are supporting this game. We promise to read and we'll try to respond to them. And Tom, as always, 1H1D is part of the QTB network. And if you like gaming podcasts, be sure to check out Quit the Build, a weekly gaming news podcast. And they do all this other cool stuff. And to see all that, check the lineup out at quitthebuild.com/network. We are at least, you know what? I'm done with this game. I never have to talk about it again. So
it's true.
Now we got to find out what we're playing next, right?
Yes.
So the surprise me button's back here, and we're going to find out for episode 101. Tell us, surprise me button, what we are doing. Here we go.
Gotta know what the next 100 start with.
And we are starting with Exo 1.
Does it have anything to do with Exo Squad?
Doesn't look like it.
Damn.
Doesn't look like it. I know that would be cool. I'm hoping for an Exo Squad game eventually, but you know,
In
the meantime,
another show, maybe another animated show, live action. I don't know.
Oh, be still heart. That's probably not going to happen. But yeah, that is our next episode that we're going to be talking about. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this episode. And we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.